Hey, what's going on, you guys? I just wanted to do a quick recap of last Sunday's message. I wanted to just make a couple things clear for you guys really quick. Um, so, we've been talking a lot about freedom, the concept of taking our country back, or just starting everything brand new, like the United States never even happened. Where now we have this whole nother land of freedom that we've been able to create, but even better, and with less problems, and with you know less of an opportunity for there to be divide, or you know uh, endless wars later on down the road. But I wanted to go ahead and get into Ephesians 2:17 through 22, because the whole idea is that in order to restart this country, we have to have unity. We have to get together. Now, a lot of people, conservatives, liberals alike, will say that we're going to have to come to some kind of agreement, or we're going to have to come to some sort of compromise. And I've even said that before in the past. But the reality is that people are just not going to agree on, it's not that people aren't going to agree on every single issue, but it's that if you if you are somebody who is for you're a Second Amendment absolutist, and you believe like I do, and you believe that we should preserve it at all costs. We should protect those rights. Um, you, you're gonna have a really hard time coming to some kind of compromise with somebody who's totally anti-gun, thinks that we should get rid of all guns, or maybe to a lesser degree thinks that we should ban uh, assault weapons or weapons of war. Um, that's going to be a really hard thing to come to some kind of truce about. Now, I think when it comes to the Second Amendment, we should try to and come up with ideas on how to prevent um, future disasters, or future you know active shooters from going in and wreaking havoc. But I just think that on most issues, people are just, I mean that's just reality. That's just the way that it is. Um, as long as you're a conservative who's for school choice, you're gonna have a really hard time convincing somebody who is liberal that that's a good idea. Or if you're somebody who is for secure borders and the other person isn't, you're going to have a really hard time winning an argument with them. So what I think needs to happen is we need to look into the deeper internal issues, which is that, which are mental health. Um, People that are battling depression, anxiety, PTSD. Um, People that have trust issues because of maybe the way that they grew up, or maybe some experiences that they've encountered throughout adulthood. I think those are the issues that we need to be looking into a lot more, instead of trying to unite everybody. Honestly, that's the best way that you can unite people, is by really looking into the root of the issues here. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off to you guys really quick. Christ came. Okay, so Ephesians 2:17 through 22. Christ came and preached peace to you Gentiles who were far from God, and peace to us Jews who were near God. And because of Christ, all of us come to the Father by the same Spirit. You Gentiles are no longer strangers and foreigners. I have to pause this really quick and just give you guys a little bitty bit of context here. This is speaking in regards to the division that's currently happening with the Jews and the Gentiles. This is the Apostle Paul speaking directly to the Church of Ephesus, with that kind of divide that's happening. So you are citizens with everyone else who belongs to the family of God. You are like a building with the apostles and prophets as the foundation, and with Christ as the most important stone. Christ is the one who holds the building together and makes it grow into a holy temple for the Lord. And into a temple for the Lord. And you are part of the building, of that building Christ has built as a place for God's own Spirit to live. So this is coming out of the Contemporary English version. I just want to make that clear, a few more times, because it's a very overlooked version of the Bible. It's not taught in many churches or in many Bible colleges, seminaries. I also think that it's the best version that there is out there, with the NIV being number 2. Those are my top 2 right there: the Contemporary English version and the New International Version. Those are my favorites. Highly recommend to anybody. Very easy to read, and I think are most current with today's society. So we need to come to a place of understanding. We need to be more compassionate. We need to be more empathetic with each other. And the only way that that'll ever take place is if we look into the deeper internal issues. It's not going to be a bunch of debates on, which is better, capitalism or communism. Which is better, school choice or unionized school districts. We are never going to come to any kind of agreement on those things unless we look at the root cause, unless we start developing real relationships again. I'm not talking about shallow, fair weather relationships like we have right now. I'm not talking about all of the friends that you have on Facebook, or all of the followers that you have on Instagram or TikTok. I'm talking about real human experiences, like deep personal healing interactions with each other. That's the only way that we're going to take all of this back. That's the only way that we're going to get through this. The last thing that I want to mention is that I draw a lot of conclusions. I'm a very observant individual. I just see things 100 miles away, and I can very easily read the temperature of the room. And whatever I talk about or whatever I say on here is just a direct reflection of that. when I start talking about politics, people in the political arena, celebrities, influencers, I'm just going based off of what I see. Am I saying that I'm right? No, I'm not, because I could very easily be wrong tomorrow. What in regards to Trump or anybody else in the political arena, especially Trump, because I was once a supporter of Trump, and maybe I am still to a certain extent, but not as much as I was, 2 or 3 years ago. Um, just based on what he's been saying lately, his demeanor. I mean, everybody knows about Trump's demeanor. That's just how he's always been. But comments that he's made about the Constitution, and the fact. I mean, there's certain things that come to mind for me that he said in the past that raise a lot of red flags to me personally. And I don't know that people that are diehard Trump supporters or MAGA supporters can really understand or see that, because and it's no insult, it's no, I'm not saying anything bad about Trump supporters, but it just seems as though it's become such a cult. It's become such a belief system that now people are finding it are having a really hard time letting go. And I get it, I understand it, because when Trump was in office, everything was great. The economy was running smoothly. We didn't have the inflation that we have. We didn't have the gas prices that we have. We didn't have the poverty that we have. The homeless situation has gotten just completely out of whack. We're in this unnecessary conflict with that we've instigated between Ukraine and Russia right now. There's a lot of deception. There's a lot of corruption going on under this current administration. So I get it. Honestly, as much as I'm not a fan of Trump, I wish just as much as anyone that he was still in office right now. But that does not mean that I don't see him for exactly who he is, or see his family for exactly who they are. I mean that's a completely different thing. It was life was really good in this country from about 2017, 2018 until 2020. And then what changed after 2020? Because these COVID edicts started under his administration, and then continues through the Biden administration. And when I say continues, because it's still going on. Everybody thinks that COVID is over. Everybody thinks, oh well, everything's back to normal now, and we knew that eventually everything would get back to normal. We get to go to bars, we get to go to concerts now, we get to, we don't have to stay home anymore, we can go to work. But a lot of people forget that during that time they were able to just turn the mandates on and off at will, like a light switch. You don't think that they can do that in the future? Do you think that they're just not going to pull the rug out from underneath us, and and tell us that we don't, that we can't live our lives anymore. And just so you know, when or if that happens again in the future, it'll be 2x what it was. It'll be a lot worse. We will be under total and complete control. No freedom of movement at all. No freedom of speech at all. What 2020 and 2021 were just just a litmus test to see how willing people are, to see how compliant people are. That's all that was. They're not going to pull any punches. They're not going to give up on this. If it's not COVID, it's going to be something else. Trust me. And in regards to what happened in 2020, you really have to ask yourself, is Trump really pro-America? Because shutting everything down even for 2 weeks and just distributing trillions of dollars of printed money to people, paying people to stay home and not work. I mean, that's about as close to communism as you can get. I'm just asking questions. I'm just keeping an open mind. I'm not coming to any official conclusions right now. I'm not saying whether or not I will vote for Trump next year, because if I'm being completely honest, I don't know. I think we all need to get to a point where it's okay to say I don't know. If you're not exactly sure one way or another, if you support somebody, or if you believe if you believe, like a political ideology, or like whatever, a religion, a certain narrative that keeps being pushed. If you're not exactly sure yet, just ponder, just think about it. Don't draw your own conclusion yet. I'm just saying that I don't have any warm fuzzies when it comes to Trump or his family, any more than I do the Biden family. But I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm not really sure. I'll have to see what happens. But I'm asking anybody that's watching, or anybody that's listening right now, to please keep an open mind. I mean that's how totalitarianism usually starts. That's how communism usually starts, is by people who are just willing to go along with whatever narrative there is. People that are willing to be gullible and naive. That's how it usually starts. It doesn't start with the leaders or the politicians or the dictators. It starts with the people underneath them. We choose our elected leaders. They don't choose themselves. We choose them. It's our responsibility. We need to start taking ownership in that, because now it's gotten to a point where they literally can elect themselves, and and from what I'm seeing, it seems as though they have been electing themselves for a very, very long time. And what are we going to do to fix that? Well, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot that we can do unless there's an American Revolution taking place, unless we go to war with our own government, which is what we're inevitably going to have to do. So anyway, guys, I'm done rambling. Hope you enjoyed this talk. I hope it brought value. If it did, share it with your friends and your family. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. My YouTube is Collectively Fearless. And then my Instagram is itsmatt_ice. But I got to go ahead and get going and move on with my day. But I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And like always, I will talk to you again soon.